Hello, it's Carla again with The Art of Empathy. A little bit ago, we talked about a skill called conscious complaining with a partner, and it builds on one of the first 5 empathic mindfulness practices called conscious complaining. Right? So with conscious complaining with a partner, you find a way to make complaining less, well, toxic. And to utilize it as a skill and a practice and a way to build relationships. So conscious complaining with a partner is awesome, and the video on it was done last week or the week before. And so you can look at that. In this video, I'd like to talk about a further practice for communication that relies on one of the most important communication skills that you already have, though you may not know about it. This communication skill helps you figure out the social structure around you. It helps you ingeniously use the magical skills and the magical intuition of 2 of your most important emotions for the social understanding of the world and for your social positioning. And if you know about those emotions, it's jealousy and envy. Jealousy helps you understand your social positioning in terms of love and loyalty, and envy helps you understand your social positioning in terms of like material possessions and the kind of energy and attention that you're getting from other people. Both are incredibly important, but we've been taught to hate both of them, right? So jealousy is called the green-eyed monster, and envy is one of the 7 deadly sins. We hate these emotions, but they are so crucial to how you function in the world. If your envy is not healthy, you are not going to ask for what you need, and you're continually going to turn away from things that would be good for you because another person might want them, right? So you're the opposite of greedy. You're like self-abandoning. And if your jealousy isn't healthy, you won't sort of have this eagle eye look at people before you allow them into your lives, and you may bring people in close to you who are not loyal and who really don't have any business being there, right? So with jealousy and envy, working with them at their soft skill level states is crucial to your social viability, to your social wellness. These 2 emotions are really they're brilliant, right? And the funny thing is that we've been taught to hate them. So a part of the work in dynamic emotional integration is to bring the emotions out of the shadow and learn to work with them as themselves and not as what we've been taught they are. Because in general, what we've been taught emotions are is pretty unhelpful. So with jealousy and envy, they're so special and so crucial and so hated that I created a communication process that helps you access the incredible social genius that these 2 emotions carry in a way that it relies on something you already do. So it's simple. And this amazing communication skill you're already using, but maybe not in the best way, is called gossip. And yeah, people hate gossip as much as they hate jealousy and envy, but I have to tell you that gossip is the communication practice of jealousy and envy. Now, in anthropology and sociology and social science, gossip is understood not as just kind of that, but gossip is what is called informal communication. It is how we get our information about the social world. So let's say you're at work and the formal communication is people call in, you take the order, you give the order to processing, and then shipping takes it, right? Those are the formal communication processes. And if you are sick, you would go to HR, right? So there's a tremendous amount of formal communication. But the informal communication might be, did you know that Fred in shipping just lost his mother, right? That has nothing to do with the workplace. That has nothing to do with formal communication. But it is a crucial piece of informal information that you need to know so that you don't go to Fred and expect him to be totally functional that day. He really shouldn't be at work, right? And so then in gossip chains, this information about Fred will go around and everyone will know that even though he doesn't want to talk about it, Fred is in grief, and we need to sort of watch Fred's work without letting him know we're watching it. Do you know what I'm saying? So informal communication can be crucial to your capacity to keep your workplace running, keep your family running, keep your relationships running. It's crucial, informal information. And that's what gossip is, right? And what they have found in studies is that all people use gossip. Gossip is in all cultures and all ages and both genders, or all genders, if you have a larger view of gender, right? So there's not, generally what we would say is that teenage girls gossip, and then if you get to an age that's older than that, then you're out of place. Gossip is generally put into the female area, but men are just as good at informal communication or gossip as anybody else is. Kids are good at it. Elders are good at it. Everybody's good at it because it's how you function. If you are outside of an informal communication chain at work and nobody cares about you and nobody told you about Fred, you're going to do something socially inappropriate, right? Because you are not part of the informal communication circle. So I created a form of gossip that I call, it's a practice, that I call ethical empathic gossip. And this is because gossip is in the shadow. Jealousy and envy are in the shadow. Most emotions are in the shadow. Informal communication is in the shadow. So in the shadow, you're going to find a lot that is unethical and a lot that is unempathic. So gossip can be extremely unethical. It's not just a situation of saying, everybody watch out for Fred. Rather, it can be a way to gain allies in a social war that you're having. So you can say to someone, do you know what she just said to me? Well, blah, 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 blah. And so what you're doing is you're trying to transfer your anger and your upset with this person onto your gossip partner. So now you two are allies. And now you've got someone in your camp who can also be angry at her, right? So that's unethical. It's also unempathic. So with ethical empathic gossip, we're going to use the fact that you have jealousy and envy working at all times to keep an eye on every aspect of your social situation. You have all this information. And with gossip, we have it start out, one, you say, I'm having trouble with this person. Gossip is always about a person. It's always about a social situation of unfairness or disloyalty, right? Boom, that's gossip. So the gossip that was healthy in the workplace was about Fred. It was about a person. And there were some situations that had changed with him suddenly, so we all needed to know what was going on with Fred. But when gossip gets toxic, when it gets unethical and unempathic, what that says to me is, you've lost your skills in this situation and you need some input, right? So what we say in ethical empathic gossip is, we call it EEG because it's simpler. Put on the heart monitors, I need an EEG. Is that there's like steps to it. One, you come to the person and ask, do you have time for an EEG? Hopefully you've trained some of your friends and family so they know how to do it, right? And if they say yes, then you just go for it. You gossip. You say, this is the situation I'm having with my brother. And I have lost my peacefulness and my ethics and my boundaries around this. And I'm just, I just want to, so I need some support in figuring out something to do. But here's the whole story. And the whole story, all the pieces of it, all of the then he said this, and then I did this, and here was this misunderstanding, and then someone else came in. There's a lot going on when a person needs to gossip and when the relationship has stalled. So you give the person time, and in ethical empathic gossip, the listener certainly listens, but also asks questions. Wait, are you saying that your sister did that too? Right? And then you can help the gossiper start to understand even more of the social situation. The listener's job is to give advice, but only after they've listened, only after they have the whole story. And the gossiper's job is to go back to the original relationship that had devolved into unethical and unempathic gossip, and do it differently with the help of the listener. So the listener gets this incredible, mountain of information from the genius of jealousy and envy. And the listener's job is just to say, what have you tried? What about if you tried this? And the gossiper will know. The gossiper will say, you know what, I did try that, and it blew up. So now the listener has more information. Okay, so, all right, how about this? Is there anybody who can talk to your brother that he would listen to? It's like start to understand the sort of genius in the gossiper and the genius in the listener. And, the listener can also say, I think you need family therapy, right? That is a piece of advice that is acceptable. So after that's done, you trade places. Now, in conscious complaining with a partner, which we talked about earlier, we go 3 minutes each. What we're finding in workshops is that ethical empathic gossip can take about 15 minutes each because of the depth of information that is available from the sociological genius emotions of jealousy and envy, right? So it takes a bit longer because there's more in there. It's not just you need to complain in conscious complaining. There's a serious issue within my relational world, within my social life, and it is stopping me from being able to be welcoming and open to that person. I can't listen to that person. I can't even think about that person, and it kind of tears you down. So ethical empathic gossip is something I created to detoxify gossip, because gossip is crucial. It's vital. It is irreplaceable in your social intelligence and your social functioning. So all we need to do is make sure we make it ethical and empathic, that you've got a listener who has agreed to be there and knows what to do. And then, my friend, you gossip. And you find out how brilliant you are, even though maybe you came to the EEG session feeling like, I have failed at being a person. So ethical empathic gossip is on page 256 to 260 in The Art of Empathy. And once you try it, I have to tell you, you will want to teach all your friends to do ethical empathic gossip. It is especially crucial in the context of the workplace. Most workplaces, there aren't strong or healthy informal communication chains or even places to have informal communication. So it can very easily get unempathic and toxic and unethical, the gossip in the workplace. So if you are in any way powerful or you have any influence in the workplace, teach everybody ethical empathic gossip. It's one of the things that I do when I go into workplaces as a consultant. I'm like, first of all, everybody needs to be able to have healthy informal communication in this social world. So if you already know how to do ethical empathic gossip, share it with your friends and family. It is one of the most healing things you can do for the health of your relationships, not just for you, but for the listener, who also gets to be in the presence of genius. Have fun, gossip ethically, gossip empathically, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.